Yuta has taken over Gojo's body, becoming the strongest. The sad thing is, in order to defeat a monster, he had to become one himself, as his actions make even Sukuna's cannibalism look tame. And now, he only has 5 minutes left to live to defeat him. None of us want to accept the fact that Yuta is going to die in 5 minutes and Gojo is gone forever, because that means the ending Gege plan that only one sorcerer would live and everyone would die by the end of this manga is coming true. So, the fourth option could be the return of Kenjaku or Gojo. Like, let's be honest, Kenjaku's abrupt death left a bad taste in our mouths since he created the entire story. So what if Kenjaku did a binding vow on his technique before his death, knowing Rika is about to eat him? This would make him come back to life one last time, never being able to use his curse technique ever again, thus giving up his immortality. He did say he hates to leave so much undone, and his will would carry on. And given that Mahito claimed even if he's crushed to bits, as long as he sustains the shape of his soul, he won't die, as curse energy is controlled by my will, we can see why it would make sense. But Gojo's death is confirmed. But you're probably gonna ask me, ABD, come on, you need to give us more copium, right? Well, I'm a good dealer, and my price is a like on the video and subscription. In chapter 90, Geto was able to take control of Kenjaku's arm for a few moments, and that was the first time something like that has ever happened in 8,000 years. This tells us that there's a chance that Gojo also returns, even if it's just for a brief period of time. If not to take over himself again, he might guide Yuta to the finish line or save him from dying in Gojo's body. So did Gojo go north or south? Let me know in the comments what you think as I dive even deeper, because this is where things get extremely sad. Everyone finds Yuta's idea repulsive. Even Maki, who despite everything she went through that made her a monster, she wants to latch onto humanity and not lose Yuta because she cares about him, claiming he's important. However, this triggers anger within our MC, and he calls out everyone's hypocrisy. The others claim they are worried about what happens to Yuta as a person. But when it comes to Gojo, this conversation doesn't even occur. Even his childhood friend Shoko didn't give a rat's ass about Yuta's heinous idea, so it pissed him off. As a result, we start to understand Gojo's words in chapter 236 perfectly now. There was always a gulf between me and other people, even if they adored me. You can admire a flower and help it bloom, but you can't ask it to understand you, which we know Shoko claimed in chapter 220 that Gojo wasn't alone. But in reality, she didn't understand it, nor cared to the extent that Yuta, Yuji, or Suguru Geto did. Gojo has been holding a burden of his title for the longest, and society made him become a monster that is fed just so it can live on peacefully for its selfish desires. Gojo is treated not only as a political tool, but as a weapon for the needs of others, rather than considering what he feels ever since he was 5 years old. This even went as far as the USA when Kenjaku told them about Gojo. The first thing they thought of was to abuse him for infinite energy as a resource. So Yuta claims they don't realize what they are up against, and throwing away their humanity is a cheap price to pay, just like Yuji stated his death was. As a result, Yuta claims one of them needs to take Gojo's spot once he dies, and if no one is willing to step up, then he will.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Yuta abandons his humanity, just like Sukuna, as he does not want everyone's sacrifice to go in vain. They are now being forced to use inhumane tactics, which would go against the morality of people like Angel, who care about God and his creed. Yuta acknowledges that despite being the good guys, they are still part of the depressing world of Jujutsu. I mean, Yuji himself had to eat his unborn brothers to gain power in parallel. This final panel gives insane context to Yuta's expressions during Gojo's fight with Sukuna, where it seemed like he was shitting his pants. There was nobody in that room who wanted Gojo to win more than Yuta because of how much he loves his sensei, and he knew what he would have to do. This is why Yuta wanted to help Gojo before he died in the 3v1. And the sad part is, Yuta is left out of this plan due to resonance. Yet he is the only one that told Yuta to proceed to help Gojo.
It's pretty difficult to put into words how disgusted I am, how depressed I am.
But this story gets even more tragic. Yuta begs Gojo not to bear the burden of being a monster alone anymore. And because he is second to none to him, Yuta is able to put himself in Gojo's shoes, where he responds there's nothing that can be done about that, as he was left in the dust when he separated from Geto, whom committed atrocious acts to achieve his ideals. So Gojo, he must do the same. If you think about it, society dehumanized Gojo. Yuta was strong enough to grasp the curse that comes with such decisions, as Gojo told him that love is the biggest curse of all. But to enjoy more peak fiction, watch this video about Rimuru and all his abilities, the actual strongest character in anime that can defeat Goku, Gojo, Sukuna, anyone you name.